Scientists are stunned after the California coastline just tore itself apart, with cracks hissing steam and water bubbles. As they rush to figure out this development, one chilling truth hangs in the air. Whatever is stirring below could devastate everything in its path. Imagine walking along a quiet California shoreline as the waves gently brush the sand. Then, out of nowhere, you hear a hiss. This is then followed by steam escaping from fissures in the beach. Then, fishermen around look out over the surf and claim that the water is bubbling like it's been boiled from below. Yet the most terrifying thing is that nothing in the official map has predicted this, and therefore, not even scientists know what really is going on. All there is to know is that deep beneath the coast, something has stirred, and it's just a matter of time before it erupts. It's that rather unsettling moment that marks the beginning of our story, because when the earth groans beneath a beach that has long been considered stable, one question that comes to mind is, what's really going on? Is it possible that the machinery of a fault line could be grinding toward a snap? Or worse still, could molten rock be creeping upward in silence, ready to break free? To understand the magnitude of this, we need to set the stage first. The California coast is more than just pretty sand, impeccable views, and crashing surf. It's located squarely where two giant plates of the Earth's crust meet. On one side, we have the vast Pacific Plate sliding northwestward, while on the other, we have the North American Plate holding its ground. That boundary is anything but quiet. There are multiple grinds, twists, cracks, and uplifts. As a result, faults form, hills rise, and in the midst of it all, powerful earthquakes wait in the periphery. Beneath the waves, there is a quieter and even stranger force at work too. Enter undersea volcanoes. These are mountains of molten rock hidden beneath the ocean, powerful enough to surge upward and push heat and chemicals through the water column. An example of such a phenomenon is the Loihi Seamount, a growing submarine volcano just off the southeastern coast of Hawaii's Big Island. For a long time, researchers have leveraged a network of seafloor observatories, hydrothermal vent sensors, and long-time seismic gauges to track how magma slowly fills and drains its chamber, causing the entire structure to swell like a rising balloon before its next eruption. Now, back to California. The pattern being picked up in this area is almost 100% similar to what is seen in the Loihi Seamount, from tremors, ground uplift, and heat pulses. Yet no one can explain what this really is. It turns out that this is not the first time that California's coastline has exhibited such a strange pattern. In fact, some accounts can be traced back to the pre-independent America period, where Spanish missionaries traveled to the coast in the mid-1700s. In their diaries, these missionaries described odd mornings when sections of the beach seemed to shimmer, as if something warm pulsed beneath it. One missionary even noted how his horse refused to step onto a patch of sand that moved as though breathing. Then there were the Chumash people, who passed down legends of how the coastline was acting alive. They described how warm fog would rise from the ground, as well as how sand would shift even when no wind blew, and of nights when the sea glowed faintly, as if lit from below. And even today, people who live closest to the shore have experienced that subtle unrest quite a few times. For instance, Bill Cooper, a local fisherman whose family has earned its livelihood from these waters for generations, has narrated how he perceives the coast to have moods. On some mornings, it might feel calm and familiar. Then on other mornings, it can feel erratic or uneasily still. Satellite images taken only months apart show fresh pockets of land rising out of the surf, heat signatures blooming along isolated stretches of sand, and thin streams of vapor drifting upward where none existed before. And these are not the slow inch-by-inch shifts people usually associate with tectonics. Far from it. They are happening in real time and quite fast. So much so that returning to the same location weeks later can reveal an entirely altered landscape. These changes have even split the science community into two factions, each convinced that they are right in their conclusions. One faction holds that the sudden tremors and jolts recorded offshore point to hidden tectonic stress. They go further to posit that these spikes match patterns seen before underwater landslides, crustal uplift, or the early stages of a fault waking from dormancy. To them, the coastline is stretching, grinding, and preparing to release long-trapped pressure. Then there is the second faction of scientists that has cited unusual chemical signatures, including subtle sulfur spikes, rare helium-3 readings, and pockets of superheated water as the strongest indicators that molten rock might be pushing upward from deep below. They point toward a similar pattern in known volcanic centers, and warn that the activity resembles early-stage magma migration. Put simply, this second faction is arguing that the coastline may be responding to an undersea volcanic system that has gone unnoticed until now. Yet none of the two conflicting factions have been found to be accurate, as research is still ongoing. In the same light, trying to either support or discredit each of these arguments has proven to be a tall order. Research teams start working at dawn to collect gas samples before ocean winds dilute them. They also use soil probes, where they push them into stable grounds as drones sweep above to map heat patterns with pixel-by-pixel precision. Every sample is then moved into isotope labs, where even a tiny shift in chemical ratios can tip the evidence one way or the other. It goes without saying, nothing about this process is simple or guaranteed, as every test opens new questions instead of closing old ones. Before we move forward, make sure you subscribe, because what you're about to see next pushes this mystery into territory no one expected. As of mid-November 2025, this situation has already escalated from curiosity to urgent concern. So much so that a special advisory meeting bringing together USGS field leads, local emergency managers, county officials, and a select group of scientists has already been convened. And, as feared, the outcome of this meeting was unprecedented. For the first time, these officials have issued a dual warning, acknowledging both potential earthquake threats and the possibility of volcanic activity beneath the shoreline. They have also emphasized the need for efficient coordination among every party involved, from the agencies to the local media outlets. The message is clear. The public must be informed accordingly without causing widespread panic. At the heart of the response is a sophisticated, round-the-clock monitoring system, modeled on methods long used to track submarine volcanoes, such as the aforementioned Hawaii's Loihi Seamount. The researchers have also set up an array of seismometers that will help to scan for even the smallest tremors, gas sensors that will measure subtle changes in the chemical composition of venting steam, as well as thermal cameras that will map variations in surface heat across newly risen land and fissures. Every sensor will then feed real-time data back to the labs and government dashboards, creating a digital portrait of the coastline's restlessness. The purpose is clear. Scrutinize every minor fluctuation, since these small signals could be the earliest warning of an impending devastation. And as the coastline continues to project its hidden powers, tension has continued to build up in other industries as well. Specifically, developers in real estate are concerned that this could drive away potential buyers, resulting in a collapse of the industry in the state. Also, officials in the tourism industry are worried that headlines about a restless coastline could spell doom for the entire industry as tourists shun the destination. For now, everyone is waiting for the moment the truth finally breaks the surface.